I had an accident.
Excuse me.
Have you changed your trousers?
Not that kind of accident.
Do
I
tell.
I had an accident on Halloween.
Oh,
Uh, I fainted.
really?
Yep,
You kept that secret.
I fainted on Halloween. This is the Sunday, not Saturday. Sunday. Yeah, I fainted, and I'll tell you how I fainted, and I also have pictures to go along with this, so that you two can understand what happened.
Right. Is it gonna
Everyone
be
at
like
home, everyone at home, use your imaginations.
I was gonna say, is this gonna be like some sort of Sherlock Holmes things where me and Spanky are just gonna have to piece together like based on this picture?
No, I'm going to tell you what happened. So, alright, there's the picture. You can see on the picture that I have marks on my head
Can't see the picture just yet.
when it comes
Nope.
through. So on Halloween, I made myself some dinner. I made myself a lasagna, and it was very hot. And for some reason, I decided to eat this dinner really quickly. And because it was so hot, it shocked my body. I then went to get some bread for the remaining of the lasagna. I sat down and I fainted. And I woke up on the floor. And as you can see from the picture, I have 2 marks on my head.
Can confirm he has got 2 marks on his head.
So yeah, I stupidly ate my dinner really fast. It shocked my body and I fainted and ended up on the floor.
For goodness sake, Dan.
Right. There's a lot of Halloween films out there that are quite niche, but I yet to see one starring a killer lasagna. That's a new one on me.
It wasn't the lasagna. It was me being a numpty and eat my dinner too fast. Yeah, I was a bit stupid. But that's not the end of the story.
Oh God.
So obviously I was a bit in shock. My head really hurt. So I went to lie down on the sofa. About an hour later, my mum having a nap. So she wakes up, finds me on the sofa, and I tell her what's happened. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, what? You're a bit silly for eating your dinner fast," and trying to comfort me as well. And she goes, "Here's some frozen peas to put on your head." I'm like, oh, "Okay." So I put them on, and then I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna lie in my bed." So I go up, and I lie in my bed, and then she's like, "Oh, I'll bring you a cup of tea and all this." I'm like, "Okay." I'm just lying in my bed, and then I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna like get up to get my tea," and then next minute, I notice that all the peas are on my bed.
You peed in your bed.
Yeah, I did pee in my bed. No,
You peed your pants.
I peed in my bed. The bag of peas was open, and
Oh no.
so all the peas were all in my bed. And so Mum was like, "Right, you sit over there, and I'll get rid of the peas." So we're like, "Well, first thing, let's move your bed out." So we moved my bed out, and then she started hoovering behind, and then she was like, "Oh wait," she got all the peas out, and then she was like, "Oh wait, it's quite dusty here. I'll just clean behind your bed before we put it back." I'm like, "All right." Next minute, I'm watch her do it, and I just hear this kadunk, and my headboard breaks.
For goodness sake.
So that was my Halloween. I fainted, bumped my head, a bag of peas went all over my bed, and then my mum broke my headboard.
That sounds so eventful.
That sounds more of a wild night than mine. And I went out party.
Well, this was on the Sunday, so you probably went out the night before.
My Sunday was just nursing a hangover.
Yep, same here. I peed the bed, but not in a vegetable type way.
I didn't pee the bed. I just wanted to stay in bed.
But I suppose I did kind of resemble a vegetable.
Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a video game podcast. I am Dan, your host, and I'm with Brandon and Chris. One of them is the best dairy farmer, and one of them is the best milkman. You can guess which one.
Wagwan.
I don't know, I just wanted to say something weird.
I was about to say, what the hell are you on about?
What were
Is
the
this a
options
joke I'm
again?
not in on?
What was the options again? It was milk farmer and what?
Dairy farmer. I don't know. They're
You felt like
they're the
Hold
same
on,
thing,
hold on.
aren't they? They're the same thing, oh my gosh.
Hang on, this is a line from Monkey Island.
Is
You fight
it?
like a dairy farmer. Yeah, how
Oh,
appropriate.
yeah.
You fight like a cow.
I was like,
I'll be the cow.
I was like, I want to say something weird, and I didn't know what.
I think you've said something weird about telling us you got knocked out by a lasagna. I think I set the bar pretty high for this episode.
So it's been a while, guys. So both Chris and I have been playing Metroid Dread, haven't we?
You certainly have.
I've yet to finish it.
Yeah, same. I've got to the point. I think I'm exactly the same as I was when I recorded the last podcast. I've got to what is basically the end. But I've decided need to do like a victory lap to like get 100%. But I haven't managed to have time to do that yet. But shall we just say what our general thoughts are?
Yeah, I'm currently on. I've beat the boss, like the robot Chozo soldier boss. I beat that, and now I'm on the next boss, the underwater one. That's where I am.
Okay.
So I don't know if I think I'm like halfway through the game. I haven't.
Yeah, I'd say about that. Yeah,
I haven't
probably a little
played
bit
it
further.
for a little while, but I'm really enjoying it.
All right. I have a couple of bugbears with it that I'm not majorly fond of. So again, no spoilers as such. But the biggest ones for me is there seems to be a lot of copy and pasting with enemies. There's a lot of like mini bosses turn out to be like regular enemies a bit later on.
Okay.
And same for like when you're doing like the escape sequences with enemies, it's like the same process over and over again.
Yeah.
And also the whole escape sequence bits, I'm not too fond of. But I know when I saw the trailer, seeing that bit, I didn't think I'd be a massive fan of that, and I'm not. So this game, unlike the other Metroids, has sections where you have to run away from a robot, and it catches you, unless you do like a really successful, basically quick time event, you die immediately.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a pain. I'm not a fan of that.
No. I've been really enjoying it so far. I think my gripe is that some of the bosses do feel I'm just smacking my head against the wall until I do it. Like,
Oh yeah,
I remember when I did Craig, I was up until like 1 a.m. trying to beat him.
Craig.
Yeah.
Craig.
I know.
You mean Craig?
Craig. You know what I mean?
Who's Craig?
Craig. Yeah, Craig. Craig. I know what I meant. Oh shit. But I was up until like 1 a.m. trying to beat him, and I was like, fuck's sake. But I think I did it like over nearly 15 times. I was getting closer and closer every time. I was like, fuck, I know I can do this. Like, I was getting through like phase 1 in like less than like maybe 20, 30 seconds. But then phase 2 was just taking the absolute piss.
See, I don't mind it because the difficulty has been ramped up somewhat compared to other games. But I'd say like the AM2R game was pretty difficult as well. But for me, that's a bonus because I do feel like the Metroid games and like those kind of that sort of genre as a whole If you're like me and like trying to get like the 100%, when you get for the game, it gets like way too easy. Like some of the bosses, you can get hit like by every single attack and still have more than enough health to spare. So I think this is a good middle ground. So it's not to say you have to like force yourself to get every item, but it's way more of an incentive now.
Yeah.
Do you think, oh, I actually need that extra missile pack because I'm going to have a bad time otherwise?
I think I've nearly got like half the missiles already. I've got like over 100. I don't know how many there are, but I've got like 100 and something.
Oh, I couldn't tell you exactly how many I've got off the top of my head. I think I'm about 60% of the items.
Okay.
Adam, I think I am anyway, off the top of my head. But one other thing I'm not a big fan of, although this might just be just me, I don't think getting around the world is as easy as it has been in other games.
No, I don't think that.
I'm sort of trying to backtrack to go to places, and it seems to be like a massive pain in the ass. There seems to be like a lot of like one-way rooms.
Yeah, until a bit later on, and then it's like, oh, okay. But for a lot of when you're going into an area, it kind of forces you a route, and you're like,
yeah,
oh.
it does. Yeah.
And if you get stuck, you're like, oh, I can't just go back. I have to get through this. So it's just a bit frustrating.
Yeah, because sometimes like a quick glance at the map, you can see like an item that you've not got, and it's not like behind a locked door or anything. So you think, okay, I can go get that now. And it's only when you get to like the room prior, you sort of go, oh yeah, it's like I can't jump up there, or it's like there's no like clear indication. It's not like, oh, I don't have the power to go there yet. It doesn't make that abundantly clear. So you sort of like, oh, I've just wasted like a minute backtracking when it was a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
But it's not something I normally tend to remember having with Metroid games.
I think it's got a whole load of cool upgrades that you get this time. Like you got the speed boost is pretty cool. It's been in other ones before, but it's like really weird and crazy in this one.
Yeah, so it is just like the same power-ups again. I think the only one that's really new is like the Phantom Cloak.
Yeah.
Which allows you to slip by certain doors unnoticed, but it doesn't have that much utility. Even in like the escape sequences, because you're like it limits your movements. I didn't really use it much at all, if ever. Basically, if I got to a point where I had to cloak myself, I pretty much fucked it already.
I think the flash shift, although it's maybe new for Metroid, isn't new for like Metroidvania. Because I think there's something similar in Hollow Knight.
Oh, actually, yes, that's a good point. I've completely forgot about the flash shift. Yeah, I quite like that. That feels like a good addition to the arsenal. It kind of feels like a sort of Dark Souls dodge, something like that, which is not something you've really had before. I think in Prime you got like a sort of sidestep you can do. It's kind of similar to that.
Been a while.
Yeah. But no, I like that. It's like an extra little bit of mobility. Like, oh, I'm about to get hit by that. With just like one button press, you can sort of like dash a few feet across.
Yeah, without that, I would not have done that Robot Chozo fight. Like, oh my gosh, that was frustrating. Every time it like did the red attack, I was like, right, gotta jump, flash shift.
It does feel quite natural to use. I think it's for me like become like a sort of second instinct.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon, have you ever played any of the Metroids?
The only experience I've got with Metroid is playing as Samus on Super Smash Brothers. That's it. I've not played a single Metroid game ever. I don't even know
play Super Metroid.
I was gonna say I don't know. Is it first person? Is it third person? Is it side scroller? I've got no idea what it is. Is it horror? Is it comedy? I've got nothing.
Not comedy, but it is kind of. It depends which, because you got the primes that are first person, but it's generally 3D, like third person. With like Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid Prime, not Metroid Prime, Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission, and now Dread.
Yeah, 2D platformers.
Oh, okay.
But really good.
Yeah,
go and play Super Metroid. Everyone should go and play Super Metroid. It's a game I play at least once a year because I just fucking love playing it.
The only Metroid game you should stay clear of his other M. That belongs in the trash.
It certainly does. And I
I'm
said
just
the
looking at
bear.
the pictures of Super Metroid now. Is it an Atari Classic
On Super
Super
Famicom.
Nintendo.
or Super Nintendo? Bloody hell!
Yeah, a bit different to to Atari.
Yeah.
I know it's one of the old consoles.
Obviously, it's on the
Not that old.
Switch Virtual Console, so you can play it on your Switch.
I haven't got the Virtual Console yet. Well, not the Virtual Console. The
Online.
Oh wait, yes, I do. I've got the. Yes, never mind. I'm just thinking of different things.
Yeah. You can play original Metroid as well, but I have Zero Mission, and I think that's fantastic. And
Oh yeah, if you got Zero Mission, you don't need to play the original.
And if you beat Zero Mission, you get the original anyway. It's included in the game.
This
Really?
is true.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think the original one's a little bit slower than Zero Mission as well. So
Oh, it's very stripped back, and there's so many bugs in the game and glitches with it. And like every room looks like the same, and you only start with like 30 HP every time you boot up the game, rather than like having full health or like 99 like you normally start with.
I think because I played Zero Mission, I've never really, except when I completed it, I was like, oh, we can play Metroid. I've never really given Metroid a good play because I got Zero Mission.
See, I feel guilty because I'm like a mega Metroid fan, but I still haven't beaten the original, and I've played it several times, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It's just so dated.
Shit.
The whole map, there's no map screen. Like all the rooms look the same. Enemies can hit you while you transition through rooms and kill you. And they're really stingy with like ammo and health drops. So, yeah, I mean, it was groundbreaking back in the day because there wasn't much else like it. I think it's like one of the first games ever you have to sort of go left to start rather than go right.
I just want to
Confused everyone.
apologise. I just had a fly come just right up to me. I just smacked it, and then I just had a whole load of shit just dropped. So,
Are you being attacked by Craig?
yes.
So I'm just listening to the fireworks in the background at the moment, and I'm constantly checking. I was like, "Is my microphone picking this up?"
Oh yes, at time of recording, guys, it's the day before bonfire night. But
It's Diwali.
Yes.
It's Diwali, yes. So yeah, there's quite a lot of banging going on, and I don't mean like that.
Not the good sort of
I mean,
banging.
I mean fireworks.
Oh my gosh. But I think Metroid Dread has been a really good experience since there's not been like a proper new Metroid in like that kind of continuing the story in like the 2D like Castlevania way since Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, and that was on the GBA. So.
Yeah, that's still a great game.
I want to say it's about 14 years old.
Something like
Give or
that.
take.
I remember going to Center Parks with my family, and my brother's friend came along, and he had Metroid Fusion, and he allowed me to play it. And that was my first experience with it, and many, many, many years later, I finally bought it.
Sweet. I bought it day one. Still got it. Great game. Still not as good as Super Metroid though. That's still the best.
I think you're never gonna let go of that opinion.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna die on that hill.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Super Metroid's bad. I've played a bit, and it's fucking awesome.
Really, I think it's just like everything about it. Like the power ups are great. Just the world design is fantastic. It's quite atmospheric. When you got to consider like it's like, I think it's getting on for like 30 years old now. So you consider how late it is. But the world design is just amazing. Like landmarks are distinct without like holding your hand too much. You sort of like you get like a new item and you sort of instinctively know where to go without the game telling you. Because that's something Fusion and the Zero Mission did. It sort of like told you where to go and like gave you an objective.
Dread's doing the same thing, but not as much. It is, but not as much.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Zero does a bit like that. It sort of like tells you
Yeah.
where to go, but not necessarily how to get there.
It'll be like it'll give you like a briefing. It'll be like a little circle in like a random bit of map, and you'll be like, oh, I need to get there, and you'll just explore, and you'll somehow get there.
You know, I remember with Super Metroid, like being on the playground because it was quite big back when I was at primary school, and you would just like listen to your mates, and it sounded like amazing because people were like always finding secrets, like in like bombable walls, and people were saying, "Oh, if you go here, there's like an energy tank in the ceiling." Went there, and lo and behold, there was. When you got home, it's like, Jesus Christ, how did you find that? It's like a sort of Easter egg hint, I guess.
I do have one question about Dread. Have you got a power bomb upgrade?
Yes.
And have you got the
Couple.
power bomb?
I have, but I
Oh.
didn't initially. I did like find like 3 or 4 power bomb upgrades without getting it.
Yeah, I've found like that's really weird. I've heard a few people say that like that's happened to them. That like I've never experienced that in a Metroid game.
Yeah, but it doesn't let you use them, which is weird. Because again, like Metroid and Fusion and Zero, I'm not sure, I'm not sure the latter two, like how sequence breaking there are, but definitely in Super Metroid, like you can get like super missiles before you're meant to get them. Like,
Yeah.
if you're like and you can use them straight away. But Dread sort of goes, oh, you found the power bomb upgrade. Well, you can't use it until the game tells you to.
Yeah. I know there's a few sequence breaking bits in Dread. Like I know you can get the morph ball bomb before Kraid, and then you can kill him in a different way where you get inside him and blow him to pieces from the inside.
Yes, I have heard that, but I'll be honest with you, I've not gone out my way to look at any Dread stuff. Like even like the content creators I watched that talked about Dread, I've not watched yet because I don't want to do it until I've finished it.
Yeah. But hopefully we'll beat it one day.
I will do it. It's on my list. It's like it's just under stop being sexy. So that's what me and Dan are mostly been playing. But Brandon, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing 2 things mainly at the moment. The first thing, as I think I've made aware before, is I've been doing the Pokemon Nuzlocks. So I've started my Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke. And when I first started doing it, I called my main character Meth, Crystal Meth. And then after about half an hour, I was just like, if I'm going to be uploading into this to YouTube, I should probably change her name to Beth. So that's the underlying joke. So now it's called Crystal Beth.
You're not going to call them like Las Polisamanos or like Heisenberg?
No, originally we was going to go for something Breaking Bad related, but I thought, okay, let's just go for the female character. We'll go for Crystal Beth because that makes perfect sense. And then I got up to Faulkner and I got shat on.
Who did you start with?
I started off with Chikorita.
Oh, why? Why, Brandon?
The reason I started off with Chikorita is because every time I play the game, I always choose either Cyndaquil or Totodile. I never ever give enough credit to Chikorita, so I thought, okay, it's about time I do it.
Totodile for the win. It's a fucking alligator.
Chikorita is so shit.
I know she is, but that's the reason I chose it. Is because I want to give credit to all the Pokemon which I don't really ever get to use. That same thing. So like when it moves on to Gen 3, I always choose either Torchic or Mudkip. Like it's always them. I never ever give credit to like the others out there. So I'm trying to pick the other ones I choose.
You definitely wanted to play Crystal Nuzlocke on hard mode.
Well, yeah, because I thought, okay, Pokemon Red was straightforward. Yeah, I get to Faulkner, totally forgetting this Pidgeotto knows Mud Slap. And just like bitch slaps half my team down. Like I lost a Geodude. I think I lost a Bellsprout. I think I lost Ghastly. Like I lost so much.
That's like pretty much everything you can get at that point. It's like your entire team.
Yeah, I've literally lost so much because of that bloody level 9 Pidgeotto.
Gosh.
So that's currently where I am for that. And the other game I've been playing, I think back when we mentioned our episode about when we some of the older games which we like to play like on the underrated consoles, I've gone back onto the Nintendo 64 emulator, and I've been playing Wario Land 3. And looking back to when I was a kid, like I'm just like, even as a kid, I'm just like, how the fuck did I play this game? But it's been nice going back to it and, you know, going through all the, well, it's not really a puzzle as such. It's just, you know, it's just a 2D platformer really. And then just not having to know where to go and like what order to do things. But my only gripe with it is when you pick up an item in a chest in Wario Land 3, as soon as you pick it up, if you're able to advance to the next area of the game, it will do like a little star indicator on what levels you need to go back to get the next chest. Whereas, say for example, if you played it and then, I don't know, either a day later or a week later, you go back and replay and turn the game on, you've got no bloody idea where you're actually meant to go. So there's no like waypoint to know, shit, where did I go to? What am I meant to do next? So I think that's my main sort of thing with it.
That's like a common thing with older games, though.
Yeah. But aside from that, I'm freaking loving it.
Wait,
like the nostalgia's so good.
What? So Wario Land 3?
Yes.
Is that on the N64?
No, it's Game Boy Color.
Oh,
sorry.
You said N64,
yeah.
and I was like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Ignore me. It's not in Nintendo 64. It's Game Boy Color.
Yeah, that's why. Right now, okay. I'm happy. I'm like, that makes sense because I've played Wario Land 4 and I know that's on the Game Boy Color as well. That's on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance. Yeah.
Game Boy Advance. Sorry. Yeah, and I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think it's just because I've got that Switch emulator on my mind. I was just like, I want them to release more games for it.
just casually play 50 quid as well. Well, 30 quid, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's really what I've been up to. I've not really been playing anything else because I've been catching up, learning how to edit for the start of YouTube content. So I've got one video up there at the moment. I'm working on the second. But like getting myself, like just going through like hours of stream footage and cutting it down takes so long. It takes like a week to do one video. So I see how, you know, I like giving credit to like the YouTube editors out there, like just how long it actually takes to make videos.
Yeah.
Apologies, I've got a load of fireworks going off me. I keep thinking it's my stomach because I've got a headset on. It's like, no.
Funny enough, I've not actually heard anything of this going on in the background. Like I didn't even hear Dan, like, you know, murder a fly.
I hope it doesn't.
Beelzebub's going to come back on you, mate.
Hmm?
Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies, is going to come after you.
No,
So you're on about Wario Land. Honestly, they're a series I've always wanted to play, and somehow I've never actually played any.
I think the earlier ones are a bit. I think Wario Land 3 is the first of that sort of breed.
Because I know 1 and 2 are a bit weird. I know like 1. I think it might be Wario Land 2. It has like multiple endings, and 1 is like I can't remember what it is. It's like you steal something or you don't steal. I don't know.
It depends on how much money you get on the game. A bit like Luigi's Mansion.
I'm not sure. I've never, except Wario Land 4 on the GBA, I've not played any Wario games, but they sound really interesting and completely, well, makes sense, completely different to Mario.
I remember when the one on the GameCube came out, like had like really good reviews, and I even went to myself, I'm gonna get that game because I really want to play it, and never did. But from what I understand, it was quite short, and paying like 40 quid for a game that apparently you could finish in like a couple of hours just didn't seem that appealing. Although I still wanted to play it, but never did. And I mean,
really, if you put your mind to it, you could probably complete like Wario Land 3 in a day. Like if you just literally go through and just follow the markers, and you can easily do it in a day.
Oh, any like Game Boy Color games, like, because I think the closest thing I can compare it to is like Mario Land 2, like the 6 golden coins. I think that's got a similar structure because that's the first game with Wario in.
Yeah.
And you can beat that in like half hour, 40 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I've been up to.
Well, I've stupidly got back into RuneScape.
Wait, don't say stupidly.
Old school RuneScape. I watched a video with the Trash Taste Boys, and they were all playing RuneScape, and I was like, oh, I want to play RuneScape now. So I found it's all on Steam. So downloaded it on Steam. I logged into my account. Sadly, my character is for the new RuneScape, for basically RuneScape 3. So I can't play that character on the old school. But I've made a new character, started from scratch, and I've had an absolutely really fun time. I've wasted so much. Oh no, not wasted time. No, I've had good fun. I've put a lot of time into it. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I've leveled up a lot of my skills. I've started all the free quests. I've nearly done them all. I've nearly maxed out all the free content. I'll be honest, and I've put in like 40 hours.
Would you pay for the membership again, or are you just going to stick to the free content?
I'm going to see how far I go. I kind of don't want to pay because I've seen how much it costs for a month, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's a lot more expensive than what it used to be. It used to be what, like
Yeah,
4 or 5 quid?
yeah. Now it's like 10, 11 quid a month.
Well, you bastard.
Wait, no, I don't think it's 10, 11. Hold on, let me just get it up.
Oh, no, it's
old
not
school
that.
RuneScape, 7 quid for
Yeah,
1 month.
I said that and I was like, that's wrong. Yeah.
Or it's 55 quid for the year.
Yeah.
But you also get the original soundtrack with it.
Oh, joy! Yay. I'm happy just playing it for free at the moment, and I will see how I feel. I think I said to myself I'm going to try and finish all the free quests, and when I get bored of leveling using free methods, I will see how I feel. But I'm having a good time as it is. Like, some of my skills are still below 10, so
You really make me want to freaking download it, man.
it's all free.
Because it's literally the nostalgia. Like, how old was you when you really got into RuneScape? I must have been 10, 11
Same
at the
age.
time.
Same age.
Yeah, like,
I was playing the other day, and a guy just came because I kind of look like a noob so because I'm like, I don't need to buy any armor or anything, and I'll just make a whole load of money, and then when I can wear rune armor, I'll just buy rune armor. I'm not going to buy all the other armor when I'm just going to get my defense to 40 and then just buy rune. So people have just come up to me like, are you new? How long you been playing? And then I'm like, oh, not long. But then I've got a level 70 character on RuneScape 3, and they're like, oh, okay, have fun. But one guy came up to me, he's like, here's 200k. No, 2000k.
he just gave you 2 mil.
No,
2000.
2000k.
Yeah,
So-
that's 2 mil.
No, it's not. Doesn't say 2 mil.
You know, but that's literally what it equates to.
Oh, well. Yeah, he just gave me that, and I was like, what? Okay. Fair enough.
You're
Just
opening up a dangerous can of worms with me, man.
Just a random guy. I was like, all right, thanks. I've like hardly used it because I'm not really buying much. But yeah, I was like, cheers, random dude. So, but yeah, there's like a whole lot of achievements on Steam, so I've pretty much got them all. All the last one is
Oh, screw it, dude, because of you, I'm adding it to my wish list. Oh, God
free.
damn it.
it's free.
I know it's free.
Yeah,
It's
why are
just
you
like,
adding it
obviously,
to your wish list? Well, you
No,
just
because
download
there's
it
just-
right now.
I mean, well, I don't know, like, if recording it now or downloading it now, how
Oh,
it will affect the
that's good.
recording.
That is a good point.
But I really, really want to get back into RuneScape. It's just the fact that obviously I've got a balance around, buying a house, my streams, editing for YouTube content. I've got a PS5. I want to keep playing some of the PS5 games. My 2 play and my 2 watch list, which we will talk about in a bit, is freaking extensive. I can't keep balancing everything around.
I've just been like watching anime or watching whatever, and then just playing RuneScape while doing it. But like, right, I'm gonna do some fishing, and I'm just gonna watch an anime episode. Oh look,
That's
my
Fivehead.
oh, my inventory's full. I'll just go back. Oh, anyway, back to anime or back to whatever I'm watching.
So five-head.
So yeah, I've had like I said, I've got back into it, having a really good time. I blame Trash Taste. I love Trash Taste podcast. Thank you guys, but because of you guys, you got me back into RuneScape.
Oops, I may have clicked download.
Have you ever played it, Chris?
I'm gonna say I've played as much RuneScape as I have the Wario Land series.
Oh, so nothing.
No. I just know I know what it looks like, and I understand like the new RuneScape has kept like the same sort of graphics per se to like appeal to like the more retro fans. But I can't see how it really appeals to like newcomers. Having a look at it, it's like
I think it's more RuneScape 3, which is probably more for new people, like, oh. And then I think the old school fans, I guess, like myself, more like old school RuneScape, which is RuneScape 2. Well, RuneScape
Did you ever
3...
play? Did you ever play classic RuneScape?
No.
That's one thing which I never did.
I think it was that stopped a couple years after I got into RuneScape. When I stopped playing RuneScape, originally, it was just when I believe the first skill, was when the summoning skill was brought in, and that is the only skill that I remember that's not in old school RuneScape. So when I was playing RuneScape all those years ago, Construction and Hunter were brought in while I was playing, and on old school RuneScape, both of those skills are there. Obviously, they're member skills, but both of those skills are in old school RuneScape.
What about Dungeoneering? Because that was added, I think, after I quit playing as well.
Yeah, that must be RuneScape 3. I don't know what they've added. I don't know anything about RuneScape 3. I've downloaded it, so I should probably go on it and actually log into my original character.
I can't remember my original character's password.
Mine instantly knew my name and password, and I was like, oh, what? So.
Oh wait, no, I think I do remember actually.
I remember mine.
But let's not say it loud on the stream.
It is.
There we go. So something like it'll be something like Big Boob 69, won't it?
No.
I'm just looking at some of these new features they've added to it. There's a tax on the Grand Exchange. There's an item sync. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I think it's £7 a month. It's more of a money sink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite pricey for the membership.
Yeah. I really kind of don't want to become a member. I do, but also don't, because I'm like, it's quite expensive, and I think as soon as you have been a member for a while, you can't really play the game without being a member.
Yeah, that's the trap, because I think that's the main reason why I sort of fell out of RuneScape, is because obviously when I was at primary school, starting secondary school, is when I was a member on RuneScape. It gets to a point where your bank fills up with so much stuff, your inventory fills up with so much stuff, all your armor is like membership exclusives. Then when you do become free to play, you can't put any more stuff in your bank. You can't take anything out. Once it's been taken out, you can't put it back in. So you're just in this trap where you have to sign up as a member again to be able to actually just do stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit shitty.
It is a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how they get you. Probably similar with WoW and other MMOs, so it probably isn't just RuneScape. It's probably every single one to a point.
Speaking of WoW, I've never played it.
I have. I quite enjoyed it, but I only enjoyed it because I was playing with someone else.
The only experience I've got of WoW is of the South Park episode. That's literally my only experience of it.
Yeah, nearly. I played it for a little bit. Well, this is like going back about 15 years. I think they did an offer. You could like have a trial. You could play it up to like level 10 for like a limited time for free. So I did that. But I didn't even get to level 10. I got to about level 8 and got bored.
Now it's like level 20 or something stupid. Level 20, 30. Like, you've got a good amount of levels now to play for free.
Well, this is like before the sort of play to free model sort of was really around. So
Yeah.
it was literally like you pay for the game, and then it was like I think it was only for like a month they let you play the game like up to level 10 for free.
Yeah.
And then they took that away as well.
Yeah.
Just to get a few more people in. It may have been about the same time as like I want to say Wrath of the Lich King was released to sort of like get a few more players in.
Maybe.
Yeah, quite a long time ago.
I know, like, obviously WoW and I guess RuneScape have both had a similar thing where you have classic WoW and now you have old school RuneScape, kind of similar, where obviously the fans of both want the old school experience again.
I think the online game that I put the most time into back in today was called Fly FF, or like Fly for Fun.
I know that one somewhere.
Yes. There's images of it on Google, but they don't look like the same game I was playing. I think it's had a sort of remaster, relaunch thing.
Are these like little chibi people-ish?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I'm trying to have a look see.
Yeah, I completely missed Fly, but there was another bank. Hold on, let me just see if I can remember what it's called.
The only reason I started playing it is one of my mates at uni was playing it, and I looked over his shoulder and went, "That looks all right." So I thought, okay, it's a free game, so I'll download that, and then I'll play it online with him. Of course, me not knowing anything about this, I didn't realise that like everyone played on like different servers. I thought he just downloaded the game and that was it. So I went to play it with him and couldn't because I was on a different server than he was. That was that. But it didn't stop me from putting loads of time into it. As I say, it's a free game, so when you've got like no job at that point, and you'll take whatever you can get. But I did enjoy it for what it was worth. I think looking back on it, it was very, very grindy, as is like the nature of like MMOs. But, yeah, but it was fun from what I remember.
I'm just looking now back through another MMORPGs to play. It's called Sherwood Dungeon Online. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
No.
Oh,
There's
it was so
many.
It was so clunky. But this was back in the days. Do you remember when free webs sort of first came about? When you could make your own website for free and blah blah blah. Like, this was a sort of game where clans were appearing, and clans would make their own free webs account, and it'd just be like this massive just online stuff. I think this was just before I really got involved in RuneScape. There was Sherwood Online, and there was this another game, which I can't remember for the life of me. But the whole idea of it is that you're a lady on an island, and for some reason you can transport a car and you can just move around. And you could just like go between chat rooms and stuff like that. But this was like when I was like 11 years old. I had no idea what I was doing.
So you're 11 years old playing Woman with Cart Simulator.
Woman with Car Simulator, Sherwood Dungeon Online, and then shortly accompanied by RuneScape.
I think one of those games is better than the other, but I'll let the audience decide which one is which. Now then.
It's called Maid Marian, that's what it is.
Maid Marian had a car.
Maid Marian Games. Oh my god, there's like a list of these at the bottom. Holy crap.
Why does it sound familiar?
She sounds like she got ripped off. It's like, oh, when it comes to show, it's like, oh, Robin Hood, what do you get? Bow and arrow, great. Well, I'm Maid Marian, what do I get? Fucking car.
Oh, that looks so different. Like, I know you could do this weird dancing thing, but
while you ponder on that, we actually got asked a question by one of our listeners. And as I say, if you want to ask any questions, boom, go ahead. Go to one of our socials on Facebook or Instagram and say hi. But yeah, we got asked about arcades and like arcade memories. What's like some of our favourite arcade games? I don't know who wants to start on this subject.
I'll start off on one, seeing as we're just sort of shortly coming out of the spooky season.
Go for it.
It's one that, as teenager, you'd always see this at the arcades, but House of the Dead.
Fuck yes.
Like, in particular, I want to do more reference to House of the Dead 1 and 2 because 3 and 4 were a bit but House of the Dead 1 and 2 were definitely the ones I played the most. And I so enjoyed playing them.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, like, because you think like 3 and 4 would be better, because if you see the arcade machines themselves, like the first two have just like got standard light guns, but the third one's got like a shotgun, and the fourth one's got like an Uzi.
Yeah, it's a mini Uzi with a grenade launcher on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, you think, oh, that's got to be cooler, surely, but no, it's really not.
Yeah, House of the Dead 1 and 2. I think what mainly drew to me is like, you know, the destruction physics, like on House of the Dead 1 and 2, like you shoot a zombie, the arm falls off, and obviously House of the Dead 1 will have the red blood, House of the Dead 2 you had the orange blood. And that's sort of what really sort of made it feel nice. And obviously, like, you pay like 50p for a life. The moment you die, it comes up with that counter saying, continue, 10 seconds. You're like, Mom, 50p, now!
I remember playing 2 and 3 so much. I played 2, 3 and 4. I've not played number 1, but I played 2 and 3 and 4. And I played them loads.
So, with me, for House of the Dead 2, I finished that in arcades when I was on holiday in Spain. Because it was still pesetas then. It was before euros. But it basically equated to like 10p a go. And remember, this is like a relatively new arcade game. So, yeah, 10p a go to play through the entirety of House of the Dead 2 was amazing. I had such fun with that.
But I mean, I played it when it came out on the Wii. I think that was House of the Dead 3, which came out on the Wii, if I remember correctly.
Is it 2 and 3? I thought it was 2
I can't remember about 2.
You got Overkill as well, which came out.
Never played Overkill.
I kept meaning to get the 2 and 3 remake on the Wii, and I never did.
Yeah, there was a clunky one. I think it was on the PS Now. There's a House of the Dead on there, but again, because you're playing it with a controller rather than the gun, it just feels, clunky. But I just remember always at the arcades, the calibration of the gun to the screen was just always just so off.
Oh yeah,
like you have to like
directly. You'll be pointing directly at the screen, and somehow you'll be reloading.
Or you're pointing, like, like on the bosses, like when they're moving around, you're literally aiming at their bloody head. But it's like pointing like slightly, bottom left. You have to like angle shoot up to make sure it goes straight where you were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I think that's probably my favorite, beachside arcade game of all time is the House of the Dead series. That's the one I've got the most memories with.
I remember going to Norfolk. My family have a house in Norfolk with my dad. I remember going with my dad once, just him and I went. There's in the town where we were staying, next to where we were staying, they had a little arcade, and they had House of the Dead was there, and I remember playing House of the Dead 2 for like ages. I must have pissed my dad off so much. I know they had a House of the Dead 4 in Hollywood Bowl in Leicester. It's a long time ago.
Right, so if anyone's not played House of the Dead before, we mentioned earlier it's got like Uzis, but a lot of gameplay involves like shaking zombies off you, so you're physically shaking these Uzis like as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And Christ, you'll get arthritis and Parkinson's if you play it for like more than 5 minutes. You could play perfectly and you still can't avoid this happening to you. It's so annoying.
I guess on still a kind of, as you say, coming out of Halloween, there is a similar shooter game that I used to play in Megazone in Leicester called Carnevil.
Never played it.
I know that.
I was so fucking good at this game. Every time I would go to Megazone, I would go to like my mum would put me on like these little like activity day things, and I'd always, if the Megazone was one of them, I'd be like, oh, I want to go on the Megazone one, and I'd just be with a whole load of people, wouldn't know who they were, and I'd just go to play go to Megazone, play Laser Quest, and play the arcade games in between all the games. And they had Carnevil, and I was the guy that if there were people playing Carnevil and they were struggling, I'd be like, I'm good. Do you want me to come on? And we would get through so many levels, like the bosses, and people just like, oh fuck, you've got skills, and then it'd be like, oh no, now I need to go to play my match in Laser Quest. It's like, oh, but you're so good. I'm like, well, and then I'll come back after, and they're still playing. Like, do you want me to jump back on? They're like, yeah.
So,
what do you remember? What Carnevil is, Chris?
well, I think I do. I may be misremembering it, but I'm pretty sure it's like a light gun game where you fight off like circus. Like
Yeah, it's basically just kind of a circus version of House of the Dead. I wouldn't say it's probably better than House of the Dead, but I was just really fucking good at it. So, but yeah,
I kind of remember what it looks like, but I can't really remember playing it.
Yeah, like all the levels were basically circus themed. I know there's a Christmas one at one point where you have to fight like either a clown version of Santa. I don't know, but it was like a mixture of like circus, horror, and yeah, I just remember being really good at it and having a lot of fun. Maybe it wasn't as good as House of the Dead, but I had an absolute blast.
Awesome.
That's good to hear.
Well, some of my favourite ones are a bit different. So one of my all-time favourite arcade machines is, you may have heard of it, one called Prop Cycle.
Prop Cycle?
And, yeah, it is basically a proper like workout bike, like with like painted yellow. But in game, like you're playing as someone in like a sort of propeller like bike, and you sort of fly around using the bike.
What is this?
So you like sort of pedal fast to like go up, and you can like steer it, and basically it's kind of like, I don't know, something like Star Fox, but like minus the shooting. You're just sort of like going around like trying to pop balloons, and if you pop the balloons, like you get like extensions to your timer, and you have to get like such a high score. And I think it only had like 3 levels. It had like a sort of easy, medium, and hard one. But if you want to do the hard one, you've got to be really fit to do it. It doesn't sound like much, but this game is so addictive, and I just really like playing it because I think I like showing off like how good I could use the bike. So that's one. But I haven't seen it in donkey's years, and I bet if you ever found one now in the wild, it would be completely burnt out. So everyone panicking, pedaling like mad on it.
I'll say it almost looks like it could have been like a precursor to like the Wii Fit or something.
Yeah, I suppose so. But with a push bike.
Yeah, that's really clever programming there for considering like the dates of it and everything.
Yeah. I think if memory serves, instead of like steering, the bike itself actually sort of tilted left and right, so you like lean it a bit like a motorbike as well, which added to the immersion of it. So if you want to make a short turn, you really leant into like left and right while pedaling like a psychopath.
1996 it came out.
96, blimey. Yeah, I think I played it right when it first came out. I must have been about 11. Yeah, that one's good. And then another one just to show off, because I really like this one too. I'm sure you're aware you've got those machines which like drop like the punch bag for you to hit, and it like monitors your speed and all that. But honestly, they're just bollocks, because it's not about how hard you hit; it's like how much weight you've got behind you. So you could be a right fat bastard and get a real good score on it. that's how they're wired up. Yeah. But no, there's a sort of spin on that, and with a franchise attached to it that you may have heard of, called Fist of the North Star.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Yeah. Now I know nothing about the series at all, but the arcade game was a similar sort of thing. But imagine this. So it's vertical stand. You've got your screen in the middle with like your cutscenes and gameplay going on. And how it works is you had 6 sort of pads, 3 either side, and they sort of like swung up and like face towards you. And you'd sort of punch them, and they'd sort of knock them down again. A bit like a sort of vertical whack-a-mole, I guess. But depending on the level, they would pop up faster and change the patterns around. So instead of like being about raw power and how hard you could hit it, it's more like hand speed. So, but combined with like the graphics on the screen, like the really gruesome like people you were fighting or supposed to be fighting, it worked really well. It's a real fun game. It's dead simple. It's just 6 pads that you're hitting, but you're trying to do it like really quickly. But it was a fun time, and that's like the only thing I know about Fist of the North Star. Is that arcade machine? Bit of fun.
Have you got any more arcade games you've played, Dan?
I've played a whole load over the years. I'm trying to think of the ones that have stuck out to me. Like,
I think
Carnevil is the one that sticks out, and House of the Dead. They're the ones that stick out the most. I guess like I remember playing like Tekken Tag Tournament in the arcade version.
You actually played that in an arcade?
Yeah. Funny enough, that was at that Megazone in Leicester as well. They had a whole load of arcade machines. I think when we went last, when I went for Chris' birthday many years ago. Yeah.
Oh God, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Where it was just like us two and your friend against loads of kids, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, we bloody won though. I remember that last Laser Quest one we did. The last round. They played music from like Halo and like Doom, and Knee Deep in the Dead came on, and I swear I just went mental. Like I just picked up a berserk kit. Because I went out and like stormed their fortress and like got so many kills. I got like a massive kill streak going. I was like invincible. I won the match. Like I don't know what happened for like the entirety of that song. I just went completely mental. It's like death or glory. We're winning this, and we did. They did everything.
Yeah, a long time ago they had a Tekken Tag Tournament at Leicester Megazone, and it was just a button mashes frenzy. Every kid was just button mashing to whatever. Yeah, just picking whatever characters, button mashing. Yep, that's pretty much all it was.
Same as any fighting game.
Yeah.
There's so many of them. Because another one again in Spain, like the same year as like House of the Dead 2. I remember me and my cousin playing the first Metal Slug on arcade in the hotel, and we were there like playing it like for the entire fortnight. We were there, and I remember like on one of the last days we were there, we beat the game, and when we turned round, like me and my cousin had this crowd of about 20 kids watching us because it was like nobody ever got that far. We played it that much. So everyone else is sunbathing out in the pool, like, you know, doing normal holiday stuff, and there's me and my cousin just playing 2-player Metal Slug for like a fortnight solid. Fantastic, best holiday ever.
The only other one which I played was the Simpsons arcade game.
Oh, I was going to shout that one out as well.
Which one's that?
Oh, it's the side-scrolling one where you either one of the Simpsons characters. You've got to go through like the city to start off with. I think there's a bit with undead. I'm just trying to think what some of the areas are in the Simpsons arcade game. Do you remember any of them?
Yes, I do quite well.
Is it a bit like Streets of Rage?
Kind of, a bit Simpsons-y.
Okay.
Yeah, you go through your city. So you go through the city. I think Mr. Burns is like the last boss or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it released like just after the first series, so it's like before any the character traits.
It's early 90s. It was actually started being made in 1990, released in 1991.
Yeah, so the same year as like the first series. Like, so because like Wayne and the Smithers is like a bank robber. a bit weird. But yeah, it's Konami that made that one. I do have it on my Xbox 360.
What, the Simpsons Arcade Game?
Yeah, you can't download it anymore because it came off Xbox Live years ago. But I still have it on my hard drive, so I can play it anytime. And I'm getting the urge to play it right now. But
Well,
even
because
though
of us talking about it.
yeah, but even though I own it and I've finished it many times over the years in the arcades, if I see it out in the wild, you bet I'm putting a few quid in it. Without fail.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you just want to. I mean, it's just so fun and just nonsensical.
Oh yeah, like the level layout makes no sense. So the first level is just like Springfield, the streets. Second level is like Krusty Land. Third level, you're in the graveyard, and then that same level, you're in the graveyard. Then you go down a massive elevator shaft, and then you end up in Moe's Tavern. It's like, the fuck?
Oh yeah, with the dude on the table.
Yeah. Fourth level.
Is that the bit with these like Yeti things?
There's one bit with that. There's a bit with, I think it's the third level where you're having the dream sequence and you fight like bowling balls as the boss.
I can't remember.
You got a ravine section as well, where you fight a bear as a boss. Then you've got like a TV studio where you fight like a sort of shinobi at the end, and then like the last level is pretty much just like a back-to-back boss fight. It's just like you and Wayne and Smithers and then Mr. Burns straight away. And that's the whole game. There you go. I've remembered it.
That was so good to play.
Yeah, I've just looked at screenshots. It is just like Streets of Rage or like I can't remember what it is, like the side-scrolling beat 'em up bits in Tekken.
Yeah, I guess so in a way, yeah.
Such a good game though.
But
It's really simple. It's just like up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
But if you have four mates playing it, like
it was so difficult by yourself because you're just getting ganked by everyone. But obviously, when you have mates, it's like like a competition of who beats the most people.
Yeah.
Who did you always pick, Brandon? I always went for Homer.
I think I was either always Homer or Bart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell picks Lisa or Marge?
I think one time I think I did play Marge, and obviously Marge's weapon is a Hoover.
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa's got a skipping rope. So
Bart's got his skateboard. What's Homer's again?
you know what's a nice transition? Like you think now, like Lisa's like a sort of vegetarian Buddhist who's like against violence. It's like bollocks. In season 1, you were beating people to death with a skipping rope. Don't give me any of that pacifist bullshit, lady.
I did enjoy that.
I want to play it now.
So you got Dan making me want to play fucking RuneScape. I've now made you want to play the Simpsons Arcade Game.
Well, to be honest, I kind of want to play the Fist and the North Star. I wish I had that cabinet in my room. That'd be so good for getting rid of like stress. So I'm getting wound up. It's like, quick, where's the Fist and North Star game? Just have a quick go on that, punch a few pads, and calm down.
I definitely think arcade games in the UK. Maybe in like the big arcades, it's probably different. But like ones at like the beach or even at Hollywood Bowl in Leicester, they've definitely gone downhill. They're not what it used to be.
Oh no!
I haven't gone to one like since COVID happened. So I don't know what the one that Hollywood Bowl's like now.
Nah, they're all 2p machines now.
Yeah.
Are they? You know what? I quite like 2p machines.
I
spent hours on this.
Yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes it can be a bit like if you don't get anything.
The most amount of times I spent on the 2p machines when like Pokemon cards first came out and they were in 2p machines, like just booster packs.
Oh yeah.
Long in there. It's like, I want that fucking jungle set. Give me that. I don't even. It might be crap, but you can buy. I could just buy a booster pack for like £2.50, but no, I put like 15 quid in trying to get this one. it might have a shiny cipher in it.
Isn't there like a big arcade in London or something like that?
Oh, there's several.
Yeah.
There's one in the Chopadero, which was basically Sega Land. I don't know if that's still there.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've been, but that was all right.
Right.
Again, though, at the time, like if most arcades just like had the same machines in them. So,
Yeah.
So you'd always see a House of the Dead machine, no matter where you go, guaranteed. But I tell you what, we've gone on about the games that we really like. Is there any arcade games that you really cannot stand? Like,
It's not necessarily one that I can't stand. I mean, I admitting it, I really, really like the concept of this game. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But Dance Dance Revolution, when you see that in an arcade, the amount of teenagers and kids who just horde around it, and if I'm there trying to squeeze my way to the toilet, I've got to negotiate through this mob who are too busy watching two girls just dance on this Dance Dance Revolution. It's like, oh my god, that's just such an inconvenience game. Like I said, it's not because of the game itself, it's just because of the popularity of it. I hate it.
See, you've got those games with all those songs on, and the only two that are any good are like Video Killed the Radio Star and Cotton Eye Joe were like the only two songs worth putting on. The rest could piss off.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other arcade games there were. I think there's a lot of those like cinematic ones, which you've got the curtains either side, which is like a first-person shooter one, like with the dinosaurs or something. I mean, they're cool, but they're not great.
Yeah. Did you ever play the Star Wars one where it was like 4D and you like proper move all around? It'd be like you're in like a. I think the one that I remember, we were in like the snow speeder on Hoth, and you'd be like flying all over the place, and you're like in like a big container, and it would actually properly move in that.
There's been loads of those over the years.
Yeah.
I've been on one where you just like a generic fighter pilot.
Yeah. That was fun.
I mean, I've never liked the crane games.
No.
I've always just seen them as a
I
rip-off.
hate the how they're programmed. I hate the way that it is. Like, they automatically let go. It doesn't matter how perfect it is. They're programmed to just automatically let go until a certain bit of RNG.
Or they just don't grip at all. You just see there's like nothing happening behind the things.
Like, it's like you said with the Pokemon cards. Like, probably the stuff in the crane game is probably worth like a quid or two. But you have to sink like 10 to 15 quid just to get the remote chance of actually getting it.
Yeah.
Oh, especially when you've got a young niece with you that wants a specific goodie
toy.
And will fall if you leave.
Yeah.
Someone I used to know, they were really good at the crane game, and every time I go to an arcade with them, they would have a go on it. And most of the time, it was 50-50 if they would win or not, and if they didn't, it was like, well, it's not time for it to get it. But I know from what I know, they've won a lot, and I mean a lot, on the crane machines. They know how to play them, but yeah.
The way you play them is put a fuck ton of cash into it. That's it. Anyone that tells you they know how to like read a gambling machine or anything like that is talking bollocks.
Yeah.
I've worked many years in pubs with loads of people who claim to know all this, and no, it's just an excuse for them to justify their gambling habits. They really don't.
Yeah, I don't really think there's any sort of arcade games which I necessarily have like a complete hatred about.
I think if you probably don't, because you'll play it once, you're like, well, that was crap, and you just don't think of it again.
Yeah.
I think the only one I can think of is the disappointing Mario Kart. Like, it was kind of fun.
It's kind of, that was all. I thought it was okay.
But like,
that's got Pac-Man in it, isn't it?
Yeah, like takes your face, takes a picture of your face, superimposes it onto whatever character. It's all right, but then when you think of just how Mario Kart is on like actual like consoles, you're like, well, it just does not hold a candle.
It's like the opposite of like, you know that meme that says, "Oh, we've got Mario Kart at home," and then it's like, "Oh, Mario Kart at home." That kind. It's like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's like you have the good thing at home and the shit ones in the arcade.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a shame how like arcades now are sort of very much a dying breed. They're very few and far between.
I guess in the UK more than anything, like if you look at like Japan. Then
oh my god,
they're
Japan
definitely
arcade.
Not a dying breed, but that's a different kettle of fish entirely. But in the UK, yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like, there used to be at least easy, like triple the amount there used to be.
I don't know. When I went to Hunstanton back in the start of September, when I went camping, went into like one of like the arcades. You know, I think they used to be called is it Thomas's? I think it was called.
I think
Yeah, it's Thomas's is Golden Sands as well.
Yeah, Thomas's Golden Sands, and then you had the
Yeah.
pier as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I went into Thomas's, that's where I used to play the House of the Dead, the Simpsons game, Street Fighter 2. Used to play that in there as well. But it's just most of it is just turned into like 2p machines, or I've seen the occasional Flappy Bird in there as well. I've seen, even like just slot machines which give you tickets or whatever. But it's not really. I think it must just be like a generational thing, because all these arcade games which sort of brewed up in the 90s or maybe early 2000s appeal to us, whereas now the next generation of kids, they're not going to want to play games which are 30, 40 years old. They're going to want to play stuff which is relevant to them, like the Mario Kart game, like the Flappy Bird game, like things like that.
I was thinking more like not over here at least, I don't know about Japan, but obviously they don't necessarily make like brand new games just for arcade. They're going to be like home ported ones.
Oh yeah, Japan they're so on it for arcades.
Oh, I wish we had that kind of thing over here.
Yeah.
Because again, it's just if you do find an arcade now, it genuinely is like the same machines from like 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
some of that's charming, but Christ, I feel sorry for the people who work there who have to hear like the same jingles every time. Like, how many times a day can you listen to "I'm the King of the Swingers" or "The Jungle VIP" before you start going on a killing spree? Or that little fucking sea shanty one. You know the one.
Oh God, that's nostalgia.
That's the sound of the arcade to me.
Oh, they're literally the two songs.
Yeah, that's it. You got two songs that you like. I mean, you'd think working at an arcade would be cool, but like, as a kid anyway. But then that sort of realization of like, well, no, I'll just got to put up with kids all day and then listen to the same fucking music all day. It'd drive you insane, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry. I was still laughing at the fact when he was like, "Now I'm the king of the."
What, with no enthusiasm whatsoever.
Oh God, the memories.
That'll cost you 2p, mate.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame they kind of died out over it. Apart from like the seaside towns, of course.
Yeah, you don't really see him in like the intercities. Like, I think, likewise with Peterborough, Leicester, maybe Birmingham, you might occasionally find one, but you don't really see them. I mean, you might see them in places, like bowling areas or pool places. Yeah. You'll still find them in those sorts of arcades, but nothing compared to what they used to be.
No,
it's normally just like the one machine.
Yeah.
Like, from what I know, Leicester right now, obviously you got Hollywood Bowl. They've got an arcade there, but actually in the city you've got a few arcade machines in Lane 7. But
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I went there a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, they've got like a Donkey Kong machine.
Yeah, and upstairs they've got Street Fighter 2, Track and Field, and Space Invaders.
It's not. When I seen that advertised and I thought, oh, there's an arcade there, I went, oh, and then I went there and it's like seeing what they actually had. It's like, this isn't quite the arcade I was expecting. It's literally just like a couple of machines. It's like, oh, okay. I thought I'd be here for like hours. It's like,
no.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't really think of anything else in Leicester. Most of what you think of arcade is just fucking gambling places where it's just slot machines.
Oh, I remember being as a kid. I don't know if you guys felt the same. But maybe it's being a dumbass. Like when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to be like 18 because I want to go in these places that are arcades, but I'm not allowed to go in." And then like the slow realization is like, no, it's not full of like House of the Dead. It's just full of fruit machines.
I've still never been in one.
Nah, never. I went to is it the Gala, like the big one in town, like the big sort of gambling place. I went there once with like a couple of workmates, and they make you sign in, like join before you
Yeah.
can even go in the building.
Yeah.
And the entire time I was there, I didn't play anything. I didn't do any gambling whatsoever. But they had a free bar. I wasn't really drinking, so I just had like Coke. So I feel I actually won that night. All my other mates betted money, didn't win anything. I went in, didn't pay a thing. I had free Coke all night watching my mates lose the money. I fucking win. I beat the system. I got free Coke.
Yeah. It's a shame. I would love to go to like a big, I want to say big casino. No, big arcade. But I don't know of any nearby. Maybe we should Google it and have a look. But yeah.
Yeah, we've got a field trip in the future, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, and obviously, for me, an honourable mention goes to the air hockey tables. I quite like air hockey. And I tell you why. The only reason I like the air hockey tables is because it's one sort of physical sport that I'm actually any good at.
What about the other one? Is it skee ball?
Skee ball. Oh, that's the one where you roll the little balls into the holes. Isn't it?
Yeah, and I think there's also like mini bowling as well at some of the arcades as well.
Oh, they have a mini bowling one at Thompson's one in Stanton.
Oh, it's the one next door to Thompson's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've been. They've got like mini golf as well. But I remember the last time I did mini golf there, it wasn't maintained like at all. It was like literal weeds coming through the concrete on the course.
So, what have you been watching, Chris?
I'll be brutally honest with you. I've not had much time to watch anything. I think the only thing I've really watched, other than my general YouTube stuff, is like a couple of months ago, I started watching like the American series of The Office because I've never really given it any time of day.
Really?
And yeah, but the thing is, I don't like the UK Office because I'm not a fan of Ricky Gervais or anything. I've seen a couple of episodes of it and never rated it. But I thought, why the hell haven't I watched the American Office? Because I've seen it was all on Amazon Prime, so I went, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna give it a go, see how we like. Because I'm thinking, I like a lot of the cast in it, so why haven't I watched it?
You're actually the second person I've spoken to in the last month or so who's gone to me, I've been watching the Office, the US Office. I was like, oh, okay. They gave me quite a detailed overview. They finished it and they gave me quite a detailed overview of it. Like, how are you feeling about it?
Well, I'm up to season 7. I'm about halfway through season 7. I think there's 9 series in all, so I haven't watched it all yet. Yeah, I've liked it. I think like a lot of American shows, there's just like too many episodes.
Yeah.
I think they could easily get rid of a few. But a large majority of them, they are pretty funny. Not necessarily like laugh out loud. Like I've laughed out loud a few times, but it's more like random things they say rather than like the actual sort of joke setting that's going on. It's just like the odd line here and there, just like catches me off guard, makes me laugh. But no, I've actually found some of these scenes, as funny as some of them can be, more emotional. Like some of the scenes that have happened is like, it caught me off guard. It's like, that's really sweet. It nearly made me feel feelings, which if you know me, that doesn't happen very often. But say, I think there's one bit in series 3, 4, I want to say. One of the main characters is doing an art show, and then no one shows up. But then, right near the end, the boss, like Michael Scott, turns up, and he's like genuinely like ecstatic about it. He's like, "Oh wow, you did this! That's amazing!" And this other character is like really disheartened, and for someone who she's like not had much fun with, like not liked him much, she just sort of like has a quick cry and gives him a hug as a sort of thank you. And I thought, oh, that's really sweet. I'm sure anyone that's watched it knows the scene I'm on about. But it's like, fuck me, man, that's good. I like that. That's good acting.
Yeah, I think everyone always praises it, so I feel like it's something that at some point I feel like I'll have to watch. Not right now, but I think everyone just always holds it in high regard.
Mm. See, because it's got so many episodes, it's like hard to binge watch through because it will take absolutely for ages.
Yeah.
I'm finding if I watch I tend to not watch it for a little while because I'm normally quite busy, and then I'll sit down and watch like 5-6 episodes like back to back while I'm doing something else. I am enjoying it. I'll go to say it's my favourite show, like not by a long shot, but I think it's good though. I think it's well worth your time.
Something I think, although I've watched it early this year, I thought I'd mention it. I was thinking about it the other day, and I thought, you know what, I'll actually mention it. I watched early this year Invincible on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, have we not mentioned Invincible on here yet?
No, we're not.
We're not. Oh, Invincible's great. I've
Yeah.
really enjoyed that series. I watched that like in one sitting.
I probably did it over like a couple days. I was in a weird place and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch this. And yeah, it was fucking sick. Like really brutal. I can't believe how brutal that show is. But
oh yeah, like the end, just the end of the first episode alone is like, the fuck? You set up all these characters like the new like sort of like a group like the Avengers, and then just sort of get rid of them immediately. It's like,
okay. I was about to say, are you literally just gonna spoil the first episode? But fair enough.
It's only the first one. It's fine. It's the rest of
it kind of is kind of what makes the show.
People have watched it by now. It's fine.
yeah, pretty much. We're talking about it really later, but it's written by the guy who wrote Walking Dead.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
It's his other comic book series.
I'm presuming the guy who wrote the Walking Dead comics is not the same writer as does the series.
What of the Walking Dead?
A TV show. I mean.
I probably help.
Like it's got the premise, but doesn't actually do the episodes.
Not anymore. Probably was the executive producer at some point. I don't know. Maybe. Have you seen anything to do with Invincible, Brandon?
Not at all. I'm not really a TV person. Like I thought I was quite proud of myself for the fact I started Squid Game the other week.
Like,
aside from that, I'm more of an anime person than an actual TV series person.
I know. But like Invincible's kind of interesting because it kind of is it does kind of feel like it's influenced by like more DC than Marvel, but it also feels like it's influenced by maybe more Dragon Ball than anything. Like without spoiling too much, like the main alien race feels like it's a DC version of Dragon Ball in a way.
I was getting some I think the closest thing I could compare it to, I was getting some like Full Metal Alchemist sort of vibes from like the sort of main character. Like his name escapes me, like the blonde one.
Edward.
He's kind of
Edward Elric.
Yeah, Edward. Yeah, because he's kind of like a bit hot-headed, but he is competent.
Yeah.
But
like it's got like a fantastic voice, for like a good cast of actors doing all the voices. Like it's got Stephen Young as Invincible, who plays Glenn in The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
you got
J. Jonah Jameson, of course.
Yeah, as Omni-Man. You got Seth Rogen's in it. I've forgotten what she's called, but she plays Britha in Community. She plays Adam Eve.
Okay.
There's a whole load of people, but it's got a really good voice cast.
Yeah, Brandon, I know you like watch more anime, but I do recommend it. It's not got too many episodes. What is it, about 8 episodes?
Yeah, 8 episodes, about 45 minutes long each.
Oh yeah, you can get through it in a weekend.
Fair enough.
Obviously, Amazon Prime, so yeah, I don't know if you have that, but yeah.
Yeah, I do have Prime because I mean, the other week I was just looking for okay, what sort of cool stuff is there on Amazon Prime, and I was just having a hard time actually trying to see decent stuff to watch.
A bit along the lines of Invincible. Have either of you seen The Boys?
Oh,
Nope.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of a sort of live action version of Invincible, a little bit.
Yeah, I think The Boys is a bit more cynical compared to Invincible.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've watched like either. So. Yeah, both are good series though.
I don't know when season 3 of The Boys is meant to be coming out, but I've enjoyed both season 1 and 2. I personally think season 1 is probably better of The Boys, but I do like both.
Yeah, I do like both. I don't know. I think I prefer the second one. I don't want to spoil it, so kind of like one of the antagonists a bit more. I think it's quite strong.
Oh, is it
That one.
the new character that gets introduced?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're quite strong.
Yeah,
What they do.
yeah,
I think they bring more to the table.
yeah. I'm interested to see where the TV show of The Boys goes, because I think there's a couple of things in the comics that I think they're going to change in the TV show. I'm interested to see if they go down that route, what they do with it. But we'll see what happens.
Oh, so you've read the comics, haven't you?
I know bits and pieces. Like, I know, I've forgotten his name. The guy who's just completely in black. I've forgotten what his name now. I can't remember his name. He doesn't say anything. He's part of the Seven.
Oh,
You know who I mean?
I know the one. Black Noir, is that it?
Yeah, Black Noir. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm amazed I can remember that.
yeah. Because I know who he is in the comics, so I'm interested to see if they're gonna make it someone else, so that people can't be like, "Oh, I've read the comics, so it's gonna be this person."
Mm.
So, no, both Invincible and The Boys are good. I think you enjoy Invincible, Brandon. It is more superheroes, but it's a good watch.
Yeah, I know you said you like anime, but it kind of has a couple of like sort of anime tropes, like
Yeah,
to a
definitely.
degree. Not like overwhelmingly. So
That's fair enough. I mean, there's also some cartoons which I really appreciate anyway. So
Yeah, definitely the last episode of Invincible feels like a massive Dragon Ball Z clash. It definitely has that feeling of just pure, without saying too much, like pure destruction of like maybe like Goku just going, well, maybe not Goku, but like a Dragon Ball Z villain just going full force at like a city or whatnot. It has that feeling in the finale.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fisticuffs. It's like me when I see the Fist of the North Star arcade machine.
It's like you when you see Bugsy 3D.
We should never mention that on this show. I thought we said we discussed it.
Gets his knuckle dusters out.
I've worn my knuckle dusters out. I don't need a new pair now. Just stumps now. Anyway, so that's what I've been watching. What have you been watching, Brandon?
Well, this will probably be more applicable to myself and Dan. So
Yeah,
we're now a month into the new season of anime, and I think I've got 15, roughly 15 from this season on my radar.
Oh dear, bro.
But
so many.
Yeah, the only reason I do it is because it sets me in a nice routine of like, okay, I know, for example, on a certain day, there are 2 episodes which come out, so I can watch those. And plus, remember, because of my commute to and from work on the train, I can smash through maybe 5 or 6 episodes just on the commute to and from work.
I thought you just said you don't watch that much TV. So here's 15 series.
Yeah, but would Crunchyroll can't be technical. Yeah. So we spoke about this one earlier, Dan, but probably one of my favorite ones this season is Komi Can't Communicate.
I watched the latest episode today, and it's one of my favorites this season. It's basically just a high school slice of life where this girl, she's like super beautiful, super popular, but can't speak to anyone, and it's just her slowly coming out of her shell, I guess, and making friends. I think it's kind of the animation is kind of like I don't want to say too good for a slice of life, but it kind of is. It's like got this really
it's movie quality animation.
It's got this distinct animation that is like, this is for what a normal high school anime would have. This is not what it kind of should have, but it's great, and it's on Netflix, so it's easy for just anyone who has Netflix to just be like, oh, I'll just watch this. Obviously, you're gonna wait a week for each episode, but if it's seasonal, that's what it is.
I think it's just groundbreaking that an anime's had the balls to set itself in a high school, because that's never been done before.
I know.
So I'm just looking at the wiki. I think it's being produced by Studio OLM.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Who also did Pokemon, Berserk.
Wait, when you say Berserk, is it the new Berserk?
It's Berserk 1997.
I'm actually currently rewatching that at the moment, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Right,
I
want to see the universe of Berserk, but with Pokemon in it. Somebody made that happen.
Dan, this is one for you as well. It's also the same studio who did Odd Taxi.
I was about to say they did Odd Taxi. I was just like, oh yes, my anime of the year.
Right now. It seems like most of their productions has been
Pokemon.
Kid, like Pokemon, Beyblade. You got the rare Digimon, which makes an appearance.
Yeah.
Card Cap, I mean, they've got like a good pedigree for them, but they're killing it. Really, really killing it.
I'm also watching, I mentioned it many episodes ago, 86, season 2's out. I'm watching that. That's fantastic. Season 2 is better than season 1. The last episode had a massive mecha fight, probably like the first big one of season 2, and it was fantastic. Season 2, the first episode kind of just, I didn't understand what season 2 was going to be. Then I watched the first episode and I was like, oh wait, so this is what season 2 is going to be, and I've been all in for it. Well, I was all in for it anyway, but I'm even more all in for it, and every episode has just been killing it. It's been firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I'm still yet to start 86. I mean, you've been telling me for so long, watch 86, but I have a feeling if I do watch 86, it would definitely be my top-rated mecha series, I think, if I was to watch it.
So you got Demon Slayer season 2 has started. We talked about Demon Slayer Mugen Train.
Yep, Demon Slayer Hype Train.
Yeah, many episodes ago.
I think it was episode 2.
Episode 3. At the moment, it's just doing that film. The first episode is completely new. So I think the other 6 episodes will just be the film, but the first episode is something new. But after the first 7 episodes of season 2, it will then go into the second half, which should be in December. Yeah, that will start in December.
I'm looking forward to when that gets adapted because Nezuko goes, mwah. Really looking forward to that.
Damn boy.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Other than that, the only other of this season that I really want to talk about is Blue Period, which is also on Netflix, which is all about like art. I think it's kind of from what I've seen of the season so far, I think it's a bit more of a sleeper hit, but it's got some really interesting scenes. I think it's really strong, but I think it's going to get overlooked. But I'm really enjoying it.
Does that make you feel a little blue?
Yeah.
It does. It does.
So a couple which I also want to mention from this season. Mieruko-Chan, which is a horror anime, which was a horror comedy. I mean, it just goes to show that like they can focus on horror if they want to, but the only thing which sort of undercuts it is they go into they're just random edgy scenes which take away, and plus the actual trope of the whole thing gets repetitive after a while, so you sort of always know what's going to happen. But Mieruko-Chan is definitely like a really good horror series which is out. What else have we got? I'm just scrolling through. Speaking of mecha, so we mentioned 86. Sakugan is pretty damn good. It's about
interested. I might watch this. I've been.
Yeah, so the concept of Sakugan is the whole world is basically underground. What we would call cities in the underground world are called colonies, and they're basically separated each other from a massive stone labyrinth. And they have these diggers called markers, which will go out and mark their way through the labyrinths. There are kaijus, which are the monsters which can go out and actually destroy colonies. And it's basically about this relationship between this father-daughter duo and them making their way through the labyrinth. And, it's quite wholesome. CG is a bit clunky in it, but I have a feeling, I think Sakugan's going to be another one which goes underneath the radar for a lot of people this season. That's about the main ones. I mean, there's plenty more which I'm yet to start, so I haven't really got an opinion of them yet.
Yeah.
But as I do, I'll then let them know in the subsequent podcast.
Yeah. I know we've spoken about a couple ourselves, but I of the ones I'm watching, like I said, 86, Komi Can't Communicate, and Blue Period have been like the ones I've been really enjoying. Obviously, Demon Slayer, but it is just recapping. So when that gets into the second half, I think that'll be more. I'm watching some others, but they've really not done it for me so far. But that's just what it is.
But just looking at the rankings of this season stuff, like the most highest rated stuff this season is All Summer Ranking, I think I might have to give it a watch just to see why it's been rated an 8.6.
I will be starting that this week. Either once we finish the podcast or this weekend.
Yeah, I think that might be one which I'll probably just have to binge when it all comes out, because I've just got so much on my radar for the season. Like in total, this season it's Komi-san. I've got Tacked Up Destiny, which is beautiful animation. I've got Mieruko-Chan. I'm probably going to add Blue Period to it. I'm also watching the Demon Slayer, Saihate no Paladin. Got Senpai ga Uzakohai no Hanashi. I've also got the Shumatsu no Harem, which obviously I need to fit in my ecchi harem because it's a routine for me. Keen to Laika to Nosferatu. So this is a really interesting one. This one is basically about the America-Russia, probably not America-Russia, but it's definitely like a Russia space race, where the main character is a tsundere vampire from Russia. So I like having a mix of like the pouty face, the grumpy face, the smug face. Yeah, I have a feeling that she's probably going to be like a potential waifu material. There's also this reincarnated one as well, Sakugan, which I've also just mentioned. So yeah, I've got quite a lot this season. I've still got Shaman King, which is spilling over from the last season as well, which I'm watching. So yeah, quite full up this one.
You're not going to have any time to play RuneScape at this, right?
To be fair, the times where I mainly watch anime is I'll watch 1 in the morning, 2 to 3 on the train route to work, 2 to 3 on the way back from work, and then maybe 1 or 2 when I'm actually in bed. So that's the times which I watch anime. Any time outside of that, so like when I get home 6:30, I'll eat, shower. It's probably 7:30. If I'm not streaming, if I'm not editing, I'll probably then play a game then. So yeah, so that's my schedule at the moment until obviously I move in to my house in Leicester. Then I'll probably have more time to be able to do stuff like play games.
I'm interested to see where the anime season goes. I think I need to watch maybe a couple more from the past few seasons, but I think Odd Taxi has still been probably one of my favourites of the year. Probably there's a couple that I've really enjoyed, like Fruits Basket season 3, and To Your Eternity is also up there. There's been a lot I've really enjoyed, but I normally try and pick stuff that seems like it's gonna entertain me. I think this is like the first season, probably this year, where I've picked a few which I've got maybe 4 or 5 episodes in. I'm like, I don't understand why. I don't not don't understand. I don't agree with the people who are really enjoying this. I don't see what is great, but I'm just a simple anime fan. I guess the only other thing I have watched recently, that I kind of just wanted to maybe quickly mention was I did watch the final Violet Evergarden film. I watched it this week. Violet Evergarden is a anime. It came out quite a few years ago. It's about a woman called Violet Evergarden who goes to war, and she loses her arms and becomes then she gets like some prosthetic arms and becomes a auto memory doll, which basically she writes letters for people, to put it simply. And like the series is fantastic, and then they did like these side stories which were good, but they weren't as good as the series. And then now they've done, last year they released the film. It's only just come to the UK this year. I finally got a chance to see it. I was a bit concerned because I was like, this series is going to end two ways. So the kind of the premise of Violet Evergarden is she when she goes to war, she loses the guy she loves, and a lot of it is her coming to terms with his death or him not being in her life, and like she eventually starts writing letters to him. And coming into the final film, I was like, this is either going to end two ways. Either it's going to reveal that he's alive, or she's going to deal with the fact that he's dead. And I was a bit unsure how it was going to go, but after watching it, it's got done everything. The themes of the series it stays true to the themes of the series in the film, and someone may have cut onions near me.
As long as they're cutting onions and not putting open bags of peas near you, we're all good.
But the final film was fantastic, and if you like a great story, anime story, it looks absolutely beautiful. The animation and music is incredible as well. The opening to the series, well, both the opening and the ending is an opening and ending that I always have in my mind. It's like two of the most memorable, especially the opening. There's like a certain animated scene of it that every time I listen to the opening song, I always remember that scene. It's just a great series. But if you like a really good anime, it's not the most action packed. It's a drama, but it's a bit of a period piece as well. It's fantastic. I'm not going to put any spoilers for the film, but I guess all I've said is it's going to end in 2 ways, and I've just said weird ways. I should have said like one of them is basically Mikas's end for Attack on Titan. Spoilers for Attack on Titan if you've not. But one of them would have, if it went one way, it would literally have done Mikas's story in Attack on Titan.
So, have we got any sort of final remarks of the podcast?
Arcades need to come back.
Arcades need a grand return.
Yeah, arcades definitely need to come back. Preferably with new types of light gun games
Yes.
and more sort of physical gimmicky ones. We're not talking Dance Dance Revolution. We're talking more Prop Cycle.
Bring like a new Time Crisis as well.
I never got into Time Crisis. I never liked the whole ducking and being on a time limit gimmick. I just don't like being on the time limit. But Virtual Cop, yeah, give me that.
Guess that's all for this week. I had an accident. I will recover. Half of the marks have already gone. To be fair,
You passed out from lasagna.
It shocked my body. It was the heat shocked my body. There we go.
Now there's a premise for an arcade game. It's like dodge the lasagna. It's like you got to eat it, but keep like a little meter full, but don't overfill it. You got to balance it.
Are you basically talking about a Garfield game?
Possibly. We could get the licensing for it, I suppose.
Well,
did you happen to hurt yourself? No. Oh, I was going to say, did you hurt yourself on Monday? But no, it's Sunday, isn't it?
Well, I think that actually is a Garfield racing game.
There certainly is, and I tell you what, there's a few of them. Garfield Kart. I think there's like one on PC. I think there's one on Steam. There's one on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Or at least DS. So yeah, you're spoiled for choice when it comes to Garfield Kart. I tell you.
Use the lasagna. Okay. We'll see you all soon. In another 2 weeks.
Yeah. Alright, as we say, guys, if you want any questions, like today was a request as such, and we really enjoyed answering it. Hell, we've managed to get an entire episode out of it, so please send more comments, more ideas our way. We will answer.
Definitely.
Indeed.
Because there's only so many times we can take the piss out of Dan for getting hurt by a lasagna.
And how many times we can take the piss out of you and Bugsy?
Yeah.
I was like, and just you in general, Brandon.
And just me in general.
Yeah, just
I was trying to think of something we didn't piss, but I couldn't remember.
So I'm just a little monkey brain in the corner.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, it hits different every time.
It feels, man.
Cool. Be safe,
Anyway,
everyone.
Stay safe.
It's a
yeah,
dangerous word out there with COVID still.
And lasagnas.
Yeah,
and lasagnas, yeah.
and peas in your bed.
And peas, yeah.
Don't pee your bed.
Yeah. Just stay away from all food, I think, is the takeaway from this. Actually,
food?
don't get a takeaway. Don't get a takeaway. That's the takeaway.
Fair enough. We'll see you soon, guys.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Don't die.
I peed the bed.
Certainly did.